Hey guys, so I finished Unhinged last night. Um, so, okay, so, and I'm gonna warn you spoilers because I can't talk about this book unless I kind of give some things away from last book. Um, so, Alyssa's back on Earth. It's been a year. She basically is graduating from her senior year from high school, and she's expecting a normal life, and everything's great. She's now dating Jeb, you know, her boyfriend. She's really, just everything's good. And then this guy comes along, this one, and he basically goes, hey, so while you were gone, the queen that you put in charge messed up, and she basically broke, or rather she was not capable of taking care of Wonderland, and the queen that we thought was gone is actually back, and so now you need to save Wonderland. And she's like, no, that's your problem. And like, Alyssa's like, that's your problem, not mine. So of course he gets into like, okay, well, since you think that, I'm gonna now go taking the shape of one of your classmates, go to your school, and basically mess up your life. So one of the things that he does is that he tries to make it seem like she is cheating on Jeb with him, and like Alyssa's like pissed off, and so it's an interesting read. It is fun, but it does make you really mad at Morpheus because he is not respecting Alyssa's boundaries. Like, Alyssa's telling him, look, I'm not interested right now. She even goes, look, she finds out that, and again, spoiler alert, I am so sorry, she finds out that basically she's immortal. It's kind of like the elves from Lord of the Rings, where you're immortal as long as you don't die. As long as nothing kills you, you're immortal. So she goes, look, as soon as I've had my human life here, with Jeb, and have had children and everything like that, I will then go to you and we can have kids and, be a family. And of course Morpheus isn't listening. He's kind of, honestly, this entire book made me so pissed off at Morpheus. I had no sympathy for this character at all. So by the end of it, you kind of have learned a lot about Alyssa's mom, a lot about Alyssa's dad, which is super interesting. I did not expect the storyline for him. I did not expect the storyline to put him in the limelight. I thought it was going to be like a typical, oh, this is a father, typical father, typical, I knew that the mother was going to have an interesting story, but I thought that, like, the father was just going to be, oh, well, he was a typical father, he's a typical dad, he's a typical guy. But apparently there's, like, a very interesting story with him, too. So yeah, it's a great story. Again, I'm just like, I did not like the fact that Morpheus could not respect boundaries and, like, kept on messing with Jeb. It's basically Wonderland's version of Team Edward or Team Jacob, but it's Team Morpheus or Team Jeb. So I guess comment and let me know if you've read this, are you Team Jeb or Team Morpheus? So now I'm going to be reading. This is the third book. It's called Ensnared. Let me see if I can get a good picture of it. There we go. This is supposed to be Jeb. So I'm gonna read it. I'm gonna start it tonight. As soon as I'm done reading it, I will review it for you guys. And like, if you guys are really interested in it, please take a read. Also, if there is a book that you're like, you know what, Sarah, you gotta read this book, let me know in the comments as well. That way I always love hearing more stories. I love getting more feedback. I can't guarantee you I'm gonna get to it immediately, because like my TBR is like huge. Like, I'm not kidding. It's like 30 books, and then I keep adding. But I always like to add more books to my TBR. So please, please, please let me know if you got a story that you're like, well, Sarah, you need to read this. And I will see y'all next time, guys. Happy reading.